Correct. Okay, here we go. All right, hello, 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 and welcome to ZBrush Live. This is Kermaco hard surface and character design. And yeah, so we can go ahead and get started. If you guys can hear me okay, please do me a favor and let me know in the chat. There was an issue with my microphone and I think I fixed it, but I just want to make sure you guys can hear me okay. So if you can, in the chat, please let me know. In the meantime, please remember to like, subscribe, and also leave a comment if you have a question. If you have questions during the stream, you're welcome to ask them and I'll answer them to the best of my knowledge, which in ZBrush is pretty decent. And if you watch this after the live part, where it's on YouTube, you can leave your questions in the comments and we go through them every once in a while and can answer them for you. Okay, that said, guess I'm still waiting for somebody to let me know that you can see my screen and everything. And all right, oops, here we go. All right, so we're going to continue to work on this mech, and I do have a surprise for you folks that are tuning in. So let's go ahead and get going. I still don't know if you guys can hear me okay. Let me make this document a little bit lighter colored, something like this. Let's solo this out. All right, so last time I kind of did a pattern on this kind of arm shield and I don't know if I liked it. So I'm taking another stab at it, and I also remembered a really cool technique when doing this, so I can let you guys know about it. All right, so I still don't know if you guys can hear me okay. I'll wait a couple of more minutes here, and then hopefully somebody will say something. All right, let's see something here. Something funky with this light, but I think I got it. All right. Okay, I still don't have anybody saying. I guess you guys can hear me okay. If you couldn't, somebody would have said something. There's a few of you watching. I'm kind of surprised there isn't more, but I don't know if it's in the calendar. So I guess I'll just kind of do that real quick. Let's go over here and go into ZBrush Live calendar. There we go. I should be on the calendar, but let's make sure. March 24th. Maybe since that's happening now, it puts it under home. Let's see. All right, so it looks like kind of late at 7 p.m. folks. I'm just kidding. I don't know where you are. All right, here we go. That's weird. Okay, so it is working. All right, very cool. Tim's Ons, or whatever your name is. Hello, what's up with you? And Kane, I don't know where you are, but hopefully it's not that late. And yeah, so anyway, I guess you guys can hear me if you're saying stuff, and if you can't, you would let me know. All right, so the trick I wanted to talk to you about is using this. So here, 4 a.m. What are you doing up at 4 a.m.? What am I saying? I'm up at 4 a.m. all the time. All right. You know, it's one of those things. Sometimes you can stay awake, sometimes you can't. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to choose a different mask brush. And I'm sorry, I have to do this every single time, but my let's see here. I'll just go to the settings of this thing and radial menus and ZBrush, and let's just make this a little bit smaller so it's not like huge on the screen. Okay, that's better. Okay, so I'm just going to choose this mask that I have, and this mask that I have is just basically the same mask you would have in ZBrush, except I've turned the pressure sensitivity of the pen down to 0, so I can get kind of crisper lines. And so here, for example, I want to do a line that goes this way. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to change my mask yet again to the mask curve. And what you could do is you could just kind of say, all right, I want the mask to be, like that, right? And then it will basically make the mask go all the way across. So I'm going to do maybe something like this, let go, and it does that for you. So that's kind of a nifty trick. Let me switch back to this mask and start doing this, like that. Okay, and kind of wish I subdivided this a little bit more. I guess I'll do that. I'm going to do one more subdivision just because I get a smoother mask, and then just do this over. And the way I'm going to do this again is just mask one face, and I've got it mirrored on the other side, right? And then just go to the mask menu over here. And start changing this mask around. One thing I should note today is that my Kit Bash kit is out. So I published it about an hour ago, and it's available if anybody wants it. And I'll be showing it today, and it's super, super cool and super useful. All right, so here I'm just going to, I guess before I do this, let me just make the mask smaller. So here I just mask the edges, and then I'm just going to start shrinking the mask down. And I guess I could turn polyframe off to see what's going on. And what I want to do is just shrink the mask, dilute it, something like that. So what's nice about this is it does give me that nice border. However, it does kind of create some weird curves, but that's easily fixed by doing this. Right, so that's better. This is kind of funky. I'll do that in a minute. Okay, so now I've got the border here, and what I want to do is just create those lines. So again, I'm going to use the same exact method, but I'm going to, excuse me, inverse the mask and use the mask curve. And the reason why I'm doing that, did it not take it? Nope. All right, and I'm going to use the mask curve because I could straighten this out. Okay, and the rest are kind of okay. And then I'll just use that mask curve like this, oops, to get a line like that. And then I can use it like this to get a line like that. I could use it like this to get a line like that. So that's kind of the trick, but I need to figure out a kind of a sound way or an exact way to do this. So one thing to make note of here is kind of look at the number where the cursor is, and it tells you how thick it is. And Timmons, the link to the kit, yes. I guess I'll just do this now since you're asking. So if you go to my, I'm looking at some talks here. Okay, so why am I not in my page? I have my aunt here. That's a good picture of her. And I didn't want to go there. I want to go to my Instagram. Okay, so if you go to my Instagram, and this is where I post all my stuff, there is a link tree over here, and if you click on that link tree, it gives you all of my links. And here there is my Gumroad link, and there are my Gumroad items that I have. So there's the primitives brush, that's free. If you guys don't have that, make sure you get it. It's super useful and it doesn't cost anything. If you want the pro version, which actually comes with a few more pieces, and I actually did a quick edit of the pages of these, and I have a page now that shows you what the extra pieces are. So these are the extra pieces you would get in the pro kit, and for that, the brush is $5, and also you kind of, if you are using this and it is useful, it does help to send me something for it. But if you are in a tight situation and you can't afford to get this one, I do have a free one that has all of the basic brushes. Now, the new brush is this one. It has 135 cylindrical pro primitives, right? And I have it on a special price for $20 until April 15, after which it'll be $25. So these are all the different pieces. Here's a rendered view of all of them. And I have them, some of them are high res, some of them are low res, but it's all really good topology that can change. And the whole point of these is that it doesn't really force you into a design language, but gives you the ability to take kind of generic parts and then modify them. And I'll be doing that today in the stream, and I also will be doing a separate stream under my kind of in my Twitch channel showing you how to use it as well. So these are them, and you can see here you can create some really nice clean renders. You can combine them, and you can combine them to make some really sophisticated shapes. So this is pretty much done. I will soon be adding just a few little things to it, but if you get it now, you'll always be able to get updates for free. Also wanted to mention that I've got 2 tutorials on Gnomon workshop. One of them is kind of how I do my entire process. So if you guys are interested to see how I work, the best way to do it is to watch this video. It kind of goes through, or this tutorial goes through all the way from me concepting to creating a finished image. And then also I've got another one about retopology for production from 3D scans. So if that's kind of your thing, you can do that as well. Okay, and my website is kermaco.com. So again, all these are linked in the link tree. So the portfolio will link you to us. And if you want to see my works, you can see them here. And yeah, so definitely go to my Gumroad. Definitely check this out. If you do find it as something that you can, that's useful to you, then you can use it. And if you guys want the link here, I will put it in here. So I think it's kermaco.gumroad.com. I think if you just have that, I think that should be enough. Yep. And let me copy that and I'll paste it in the chat so you guys can check it out. Okay. And these will load in, they work on ZBrush 2022 on up, and I've got 2 files in there. I've got a ZBrush 2022 and a ZBrush 2025 file. 2022 works in both, and it's exactly the same. I just did a 2025 one because why not? And you can not load the 2025 in the older versions, but you can load the older version in the new 2025 and after of ZBrush. It's just how they do it. It has nothing to do with me, but I did include it for everybody in the kits. Okay, so, and I do have them loaded here. Well, let's go ahead and take a look. You might as well. All right, so here's the parts. You can kind of see how they are all square topology. You can sculpt on them. You can subdivide them. You can take edge loops out. You can add edge loops in. And you can modify the shape of it to your desire. And we will be doing that today because I will be creating some hinges for the robot we're working on. So here, this is just one of the pieces, and they load in like this. And if you click on the expose, and I'll have a video that goes through all of this. These are all the different parts. Again, the blue ones are, or the kind of the darkish ones are low res, and the kind of the yellow ones or orange ones are high res. And here I'll just kind of go to a low res one just to show you, like this one for example, and solo it and go in. You can see here that the edge loops are really nice and clean, and it will take you very little time to modify this. If you want it to be thicker, for example, you just need to I guess I'll just use this mask, why not? You can just mask this part and then just go in here and make this thicker. And yeah, so this is kind of what I mean about it's easily modifiable, and you can make some changes to it according to what you need. And you can make these circles bigger, smaller, and whatnot. So it's not exactly parametric, but it also will save you a lot of time to create cylindrical shapes. And this is just the first set. I have a bunch more. These are ones that I worked on projects over time, and I've just kind of created this library. I wanted to share it. I just wanted to kind of make sure I had everything kind of in one kit, make sure it's tested. They don't have UVs, but they're polygrouped, so you can very easily use UV Master to unwrap them. And the low res ones are all edge looped, so you can they're polygrouped already, so all you got to do is just render them. Okay, so going back to our robot and our shield. Oh, is this it? Yep. Where did it go? Nope. I haven't done any scene cleanup on this model yet, but I think this is it. I don't know why it came out as, oh, here we go. All right, so here the borders are set. I think what I'm going to do is just kind of maybe do a little bit more of this. Let me find an interesting angle. I wonder if I can just continue this on. I wonder what that would look like. Not bad. And then, oops. Do this. Okay, maybe a little bit more. All right, there's that. And then let's do a few lines here. So the way these are, you kind of have to do them structurally. So you got to think about like how, the reason why you do these kind of inlets is because this would be a really heavy thing made of metal. So what you want to do is reduce the amount of metal in some parts. Oops. So that's why you would have these kind of stronger reinforcing bars in here. All right, so I think that's a little bit too thick. One other thing I should mention about this is that you want to make sure that wherever you're starting from, you are on the model, right? So like this line, see the tip of it is on the model itself, right? Otherwise it will not work. Okay, so let's say we do that. Of course, I didn't keep track of what the number was. Let's do that here. So let's try and go for about that. It's kind of wild because you don't really see the angle in the shadow of that line, which is kind of not cool. See, I did the thing I told you not to do, which is not start on the model. All right, here we go. All right, and then let's do, I don't know if that's working, maybe do it this way, starting from here. Trying to get that as perpendicular as possible. That works. And so there's like a thick one that kind of holds it this way, and then I need another one kind of that reinforces it maybe this way. So let's do one like this. The direction was wrong. There we go. Yeah, that works. It's a little bit thinner, so I'm going to add a little bit more to it. The angle is important. It has to be perpendicular, so it's kind of hard to do that This is a thing where a tablet would be more useful than a pen display, but it'll work. Here we go. Why is it fanning out? I think I'm letting go of the... Here we go. All right, and then I'm just going to go back to the normal masking and mask this and mask this corner as well. Now the thing about the Kit Bash kit is I have a bunch more that I want to do, but it all depends on how this one does. If I see that it has been, if I don't, I guess the best way to say it is if I don't make enough money from it, I will not release the rest of them. Just because it takes a lot of time to do these and organize them, and I do have them for when I need to use them, so I'm okay there. But to make it available for the general public, I want to make sure that it is worth the time of all the administrative stuff I have to do to make it work. All right. So please tell your friends. The more of them I sell, the more this becomes something I will do as a side hustle. And if it doesn't work out, then I will do something else. All right. I was thinking of making like a sample free sampler, but I already have a free sampler. I mean, if you've used my primitives, you kind of get an idea of the types of stuff that I have. So that should be okay. So yeah, I'm just rounding the edges. I'm doing this manually, but there actually is a macro that does it. So I'm going to do the macro. And the macro, we kind of saw it last time. See, I like this a lot more than what we had last time. The place we found it was under macro and macros. And I think it's in here somewhere. Some of these are mine. Excuse me. I think it's under miscellaneous, and it's like, here it is, apply round corners to mask. Okay, so this looks good. So now what I want to do is I want to just smooth this a little bit. So I'm just going to boost that mask and grow it a little bit. And I think that's good enough. And then just blur it a little bit as well. And then I'm going to use the gizmo just to push it in like that. And that works for me. All right, so now we have a much nicer piece. Now another thing I want to do here is I want to add some kind of bolt holes or whatever on here. So I will do that in a minute. I think I have a page here somewhere that has, here we go. All right, so I had some, and I will unsolo this. I did have some cylinders here, but instead of using these cylinders, which I'm going to get rid of, and I don't know why these things are they symmetrical, or is it all separated out? I think it's all separated out. Let me see here. That's fine. How about these guys? No, they're together. All right. Okay, good. For some reason, I thought all these kind of separated out into their own things, but they didn't. So that's always a good thing. All right, so here's the cylinders. I'm going to go to these cylinders and delete them. I don't need it. I'm going to actually use the cylinders I have in the kit. So one way of using the kit is there's an IMM brush, and you can just do that. But I kind of personally like it more where I can just go in here and pick the cylinder that way. And I'm just thinking of like which one of these would be a good one to add to it. And each one of these cylinders have their own features, and so they have certain characteristics that make them unique. Now the yellow ones are kind of heavy, so I'm looking for something that's more of, I guess I'll use this one. I'm looking for something that's more of a you know, a lighter model because I could just dynamic subdivide it. And I should mention that all these are dynamically subdividable. So like if you hit D, they really clean up. Like for example, this one right here, right? So it looks really chunky because it is very low res. So this thing is about 418 polys, and if you really didn't need the inside part, you can very easily delete the inside part, and then it'll be even less. But what I meant with polygrouping or dynamic subdiv is if you do dynamic subdivision on it, look at how clean it is, right? Just really clean. And if you go further, like this is 2 subdivision levels, so if you go 3, I mean, it's, you know, I think that's pretty clean right there. Nice bevel on the edge, and yeah. So so that's what I want to do, is I want to get a piece that is, it's going to be this one, right? So now that I've chosen my piece, I can just go ahead and take these back down to the center and copy. So that piece is still selected. I'm just going to copy and paste it, copy, and then go into my model and paste. Now it's going to come in pretty big because it is all of them are, and I don't even know where it is. It's somewhere over here. So the first thing I'm going to do is unify this thing. Right, so there it is in unified space. And then the other thing I want to do here is I want this kind of pad thing on both sides. So again, it's good topology, so I'm just going to solo this out, and then I'm just going to mirror and weld it in the Z direction. Right, that's exactly what I want, and that's what's another big advantage of this kit is it is very easy to you know, create double-sided of the same thing. And again, you know, still active points 786 points to get this shape. And again, it's pretty clean. I think I do have dynamic subdiv on, but here it is without dynamic subdivision. So I'm going to turn dynamic subdivision on with 2 subdivisions. Excuse me. You get something really, really clean like this. All right, so let's rotate it this way. And let's make these small. All right, so here I'm just going to go to another view here where I just basically am viewing 2 things. Just this and the shield. And where is the shield? Is it above it? I think this is it. So all I'm going to do is view these 2 items only, so I can move this over here, maybe make it a bit smaller, and I want it to be wider. Let's turn symmetry on in X. Now if I do this, it will make that part longer, which is not really what I want. So what I'm going to do here is just take this to where I want it to be, like about there. That's good. And then I'm just going to mirror and weld it in X this time. Oops. To get that. Okay, that's exactly what I want. So I'm going to put one of these over here. And again, I just want this to be smaller. Once I figure out the size, I should do that. I should have done that first. Okay, so let's say this is going to be the size. Okay, that's good. And then let's say what I want to do here is do the same thing I did earlier, which is select half of it, expand this out, and then mirror and weld. Of course, it's the other side. Okay, that's good. And then the other thing also is I want to make sure this is symmetric, so I'm going to mirror and weld this one as well in X. Okay, I'm going to use mirror and weld 2. By the way, this mirror and weld 2 is part of Drust tools, which you can get for free, and it will do a mirror and weld on a thing that has multiple subdivision levels, and it's pretty sweet. I don't know why it's just not a feature of ZBrush. All right, I think still too big, like about there. That's good. All right. And I don't know if this is at the center of my thing, so mirror, mirror and weld. Okay, that's good. So perfect. Now I've got my cylinder the way I want it, and now I'm just going to use Control and create another one, put it here. All right, that's weird. These are not the same thickness. They are. Okay. So I'm going to put one here, like that. And then let's put one over here. And then one over here. So you can see here, just like with very little effort, I've got a very nice looking part that doesn't really need much work, but I can just use, I'm just going to rotate this. So it's rotated this way. Maybe this way instead. What do you guys think? This way or the way it was before? I think maybe just leave it be this or this. I kind of like this more, but actually I kind of like how it was initially even more. Okay, here we go. And then let's add one more down here. All right, that's all good. I'm going to do another thing here. Let's add one more that goes over here. See what that will look like, if that'll work. Kind of doesn't, but I have another trick that I could try. What if we put it outside? No, that's not working either. No. Let's see if I can salvage this to do something else. If not, I'm going to get rid of it. No, I guess we're good with this many. All right, so here's a perfect example of this. Let me check. Sorry, I haven't really looked at the chat. You like it to be perpendicular to the support bar? You like it more that way? All right. All right. You know, I am open to trying things out, so why not? That's about there. That's perpendicular. All right. Let's do this one. There. You know what? I kind of like it. I kind of like it a lot. All right, so I think that's going to work for me. Now, what about this one? Same thing. And here we go. This one. Why did this go to its center? That's weird. Okay, and then this one this way. Right, and then I guess this one. We can try to do this with it. I think this one's fine the way it is, but the rest will kind of do perpendicular to the crossbars. Okay, so that's good. All right, and then now one thing I can do here is make a little bit of a hole for these to go into. but I don't think it's going to be that visible, but it's easy enough to do. And unless somebody here wants me to do it, I think I'm just going to forego doing that. All right, here we go. Okay, there it is. All right, so that's that. And now I'm going to combine these. Let's see if this works. So I'm going to merge down. Okay, so now this is all one piece. And then did this work? All right, I have this UI a little bit bigger, I think. Let me make sure. Yeah, it's at 42. I had it at 41, but that's fine. What I'm looking for is its stager, so I could probably find it here. Stager, stager, stager. Where are you? It's under geometry and stager. So one of these two somewhere. It's probably right in front of my face and I'm missing it. All right, extract, remesh geometry, shadow box, let's make zero measure, repeat. Oh, here it is, home stage. Oh, I guess it lost that, shoot. All right, so this is going to be the home stage of this. And then I'll just move it to where it needs to go. And that'll be the target stage. That way, if I need to make any more changes or do anything where I need that symmetry, even though local symmetry is a capability now of ZBrush, I can do it that way as well. All right, so now I'm just going to move it to where it goes. And I'm contemplating whether or not to do this as the let's see, maybe go this direction. All right, I need that as an angle, move it down, over. Interestingly enough, there's been a lot of really cool stuff happening in robotics lately. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but the robots have gotten a lot more, what's the word I'm looking for? Have gotten a lot more limber, you know, and also a lot less tethered. And are doing some really interesting stuff. The US robotics stuff I saw recently is just amazing. All right, so that's going to be the target stage. And I can just switch between the two stages. All right, that's good. Now, I don't know why this thing lost its color for some reason. So let's pick this color and fill it. All right. Now I'm kind of thinking this is not thick enough, right? So look at how easy a fix this is. So I will just shoot it back to its, switch the stage to where it's here, solo that out, go over here, select half of it, and just move this out about this much. Okay, that's good. And then let's do that mirror and weld in X. There we go. I mean, if this thing is going to be a nice big kind of defensive shield, it needs to be thicker, right? And then we'll just switch the stage and it's back to where it is. And this thing probably houses some electronics as well. So good, we're done with that. All right, so the next thing I want to do here with the head is like come up with some sort of a pattern to put on here. And let's let's see. Okay, so this is just this kind of nice low-res geometry. I don't know what these little things are poking out over here. I guess I could fix them, or I could just leave them as is. They kind of add an interesting feature. All right, let's let it autosave. All right, here we go. All right, so what I want to do now is I want to create a pattern on top of this. And I'm going to try and do it. Let's see if surface noise will do it. Okay, so first of all, what I want to do is I want to duplicate this thing. So I have another one that I can play with. And I want to take that duplicate and I want to keep all of these polygroups. And I want it to detect edges. I don't want it to smooth groups. And what I want it to do is I want it to double this and zero mesh it. Let's see what we get. Right. Kind of not what I wanted. So here's a trick if you run into this problem, because I'm basically telling you double it, is you can do one of two things. One is you can just turn that off and pump up the target polygon number and zero mesh it, and you get something like this, which is more along the lines of what I want. I kind of knew these would be causing me some problems, and they are. So I'm going to forego using them. So I have symmetry on. I'm just going to use all right, so the best way to do this is, again, in saving time, I'm going to delete polyloop, this polyloop, and then I'm going to delete the bottom one, delete island, right, so I just have the top one. That way it kind of reduces the amount of work I have to do. Is there like another thing here? Or do I have a thin object? I can barely see. Let me just choose skin shade 4 here. Maybe I can see it better with that material. Here we go. Let's choose a lighter color too. All right, yeah, that's good. All right, so what we want to do is we just want to get rid of this little thing here, even though it looks neat. I think it's causing us problems. So I'm going to slide this down. Turn deletes off, slide points, and until I get this, that's good. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one. It's kind of hard to grab one without the other. So I'm going to mask this one so I don't mess it up. And here we go. Okay, that's better. It should have mirrored it on the other side. It did. Okay, and now I can just give it dynamic. No smoothness. Oh, what is this green stuff? Huh, that's not good. All right, so let me just press D here. And let's delete whatever this green stuff is. Turn double on so I can see both sides. And you just do delete edge. That's weird. Okay, I don't want to get rid of the whole thing. Wonder if this is a polygon that could be deleted. Okay, do nothing and delete polygroup all. Did it. Okay, so we're good now. And so now I'm going to go back to dynamic, turn smoothing off, and then add some thickness, maybe about that much. All right, that's better, and apply it. Okay, so now back to doing that zero mesher of this. So I'm going to go in here and say zero mesh. Let's make it less polygons. Okay, that's good. Maybe we can go a little bit less as well. Okay, that is perfect. All right, so what I want to do now is I want to put a pattern on here, and let's see if I can get away with using whatchamacallit. So I'm going to turn dynamic back on, no smoothing, no thickness, but I do want micropoly on. And let's see if I can put a interesting pattern like that on there, see what that looks like. Okay, that's okay, and the scale is, there we go, that looks cool right there. All right, the only thing is kind of, it's got this little area over here where it's kind of not you know, the topology is not even, but that could be an interesting feature. So I mean, it's decent enough. And if I don't like it, I can very easily just zero mesh this again. Let's say at half. Okay, that's kind of cool too. All right, I think both of these are okay. Let's even go less. What about less? Nope. I think more. I think this is better. I kind of like this kind of fine one because it kind of hides that topology there. But if I wanted to do that straight through, I could probably figure out a way to do it too, but this is good enough. I can probably put a couple of things in there to hide it. All right, I think this is good enough. And now, let's see, let's put some pieces in here. And I'm going to go back to my cylinder set here and expose it out. Press F, and let's say I want to add something like an antenna or something like that. So let me find a good base for that. Maybe this one. Sure. Okay. Now I can, I don't have to copy it and, I mean, I don't have to redo expose I don't have to do this to copy and paste it. I can paste it from where it is, but it puts it kind of out there. So where it is in the other scene. And so just for brevity's sake, I'm just going to do it this way. All right, let's paste it in. Okay, and then W, let's go to its center and let's unify it. There it is, and then do this. Center the gizmo on it, make it a hell of a lot smaller. And put it right on top of that knot. All right. All right, I've got one man flare here. Doing something really stupid. I think he wants to get kicked. All right. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to mask, and this is kind of an interesting thing to do because I want to mask just this bottom part. So what I'm going to do here is mask poly loop 1, poly loop 2, and then I'm just going to use ZBrush's masking capability to go ahead and select the inside part for me. So what I'm going to do is say mask region, auto region, analyze, and let's see if it does it. Uh-oh. All right, it's gonna think, I don't know why, we'll let it do it. In the meantime, I guess we can chat about what I saw. Last couple of weeks, I watched the finale of Severance. Okay, Jesus, this crashed, or can we recover from this? Let me see. Hey, Birdaid, how's it going? Oh, did I just? I did. No worries. I guess we can still wait for this to come back. Did it come back? Nope. And while that's happening, I'm going to redo this. All right. Let's see if this works now. No, come on. All right, the screen's going to go out for a minute, but then hopefully it'll come back. Sorry, I have to reboot the Wacom display here, and that should just work. All right, and okay. All right, we're back, but I don't know if ZBrush has crashed. I'm going to check in Task Manager in a minute. And it looks like it's... I think it's just doing its thing. I'm going to give it a few more minutes here. And if it doesn't work, we'll just restart it. I think it auto-saved not too long ago, so I think we're good. So yeah, I watched the season finale of Severance. That was really kind of strange, and Wheel of Time. All right, yeah. I mean, I've kind of seen it around, but I didn't really watch it. I'll take a look. Why not? Oh, the CGI is good. Yeah. All right, so I don't know why. I guess this is dead. It's kind of moving. All right, I'm just going to see if it's going to go through the same number. If it does, it's going from 5.9% to 7% and back. If it does it one more time, yeah, it's dead. Sorry about that, folks. All right, not a problem. We can get back to normal pretty soon. All right, did it start it? Right. Yeah, I know it crashed. Let me just load the thing. Where are you? Here we go. I should create a shortcut to it since I use it all the time. Or actually, you know what? Let's do it from the... Oh, man. All right. Yeah, I mean, it was we were in this kind of headpiece place, and it's not that big of a deal. So let's go ahead and just do the document thing here. No. Document double. Right, and then let's do something here where we can change the background to a lighter color, something like this. Okay. All right, so here we were working on this guy. Did we? No, we didn't delete all the bottom parts. Okay. All right, let's do this over again. Delete polyloop for that. Delete island for this. Okay, I think this is okay. All right, and then symmetry is on. Mask this, slide this. All right. Now just to make sure, let's make sure, whoops. This thing is nice and flat. Oh, I don't want to do that. Right, nice and flat. Now let's add some thickness to it. And no smoothing, but thickness. Maybe about this much. Let's apply that, and then we're going to do the handy dandy thing with zero meshing it. So we're going to zero mesh it at, let's keep groups, let's detect edges. And let's turn off any of these, and let's do that. See what we do. Forgot to turn smooth groups off. Here we go. All right, kind of got the exact same thing as before, but what I'm going to do here is I'm going to retry the zero mesh. All right, I think this is better, and the knots moved in closer. Okay, so now that that's done, we'll jump into the micropoly. We're going to do, let's see what this one looks like. Way too small. Excuse me. How about maybe, yeah, this one's the better one. Okay, so it's too small. I'm gonna, I don't know why I've got this cough, but can't be helped. I'm gonna zero mesh this bigger. I'm gonna increase the scale. I might have to go get a couple of cough drops if this continues. I don't know if I'm coming down with something, hopefully not. So I've got knots over here. I don't know why, but I'm going to do, let's do 3.8 and okay, I'm getting a lot of variations of the same thing. I think the areas that I'm kind of concerned about are here and here, but I think this is the best I can get. And it gives enough of room here to kind of fix the areas that have the issue. All right, that looks really, really neat. I like it, so that's good. Now another option for this is I'm going to take this back in time to before I added that and duplicate it. Another thing I want to try here is getting this to be more of a chunky kind of, you know, pixelated object. And let me see if I remember how to do that. I think I can do it with, was it adaptive skin or unified skin? One of these two. There is no adaptive skin, is there? No, it's just unified skin. Or was it with remesh? It's one of the two. Decimate, decimate, clay polish, edge loop. Where are you? There's a remesh. Maybe it's under subtool. Yeah, remesh. Okay, so let's see what this will look like. Whoa, not all. Guess this creates its own thing, right? This is a nifty trick. I think, did it create a new subtool or what did it do? Still on this, but what's selected? This is selected. But I don't know why I'm getting all of that, because that's not what I want. And where is that model? Okay, so it's its own thing. Is this it? No. Where is it at the end? Yeah, here we go. Yeah, this is kind of a nifty thing to get, but I don't know why it did everything. But it's good to know because I can use it for other things. So many amazing features in ZBrush. Like, you know, you don't end up using something for a very long time. You kind of forget about how cool it is and how useful it is. All right, so let's just go back to that part that we had earlier. I'm going to change this down to maybe 12. There we go. All right, so we're working on this, solo it out. Okay, and we want to do that remesh again. I wonder if it's just going to do everything again. And let's drop down the resolution and the polish to 0. Okay. I think it did it, but it's doing I don't know why it's doing the whole thing. So the solution to this is to, again, let's delete this thing that it created. Again, this is really kind of a nifty feature that is very rarely I see people using it, but it is super, super useful. All right, so to kind of not have that problem, I'm just going to copy this and just go and paste it into here. And I don't need the star. Okay, and then I'm just going to see if I can just remesh this one piece. Here we go. It's not bad. I can probably go less. And the nice thing about this is you can continue on doing it. So it just created this one. I'm going to delete it. I guess resolution, I can go all the way down to 16. Let's give it a little bit of a polish. Let's give it a polish of 2. And remesh. No, that's not what I wanted at all. So no polish whatsoever. Okay, and 16. It's even worse. But I think it's doing the whole thing. So again, I just need to delete these two. Then do it again. It created something interesting, but this is not really what I had in mind. So this is not going to work. But I'm going to try one other thing here by setting this polish to this and maybe typing in a 1. I'm going to try one other last ditch effort here to see if that'll work. Nope. No, this is not what I want. Okay. All right. Bad call. I don't think this is how I want to do this. So let's go back to here. The other thing, I kind of want to create a pixelated version of this, but I think there's, I'm probably going to do this in a different way. But for now, we do have something that's usable. We can go back to this one over here, and where's the one we had? I think it's this one, and just bring back that. And this is kind of what I wanted anyway. All right, so back to the cylinder set, back to exposing it out, to pressing F. And I think I chose, for the antenna, I chose this one. So bring everything back in. Right, and then copy this, go back to my thing here and paste it. And unify it and resize it to be really small. That's just going to be the base for my antenna here. And I'm going to put this right over where the knots are. Something like that, maybe a little bit bigger. Push it in just to about there. Maybe even smaller than that. There we go. Okay, and again, this is like, you know, subdivided, I think, or dynamic. Okay, no, this is good. And yeah, because if I do dynamic subdivision, it looks really, really clean. And I think that's good. Now, I don't like it just sticking out like this, so I'm going to add another part to make it work better. So again, I'm going to go back to the cylinders here, expand them out. And I mean, I should show you guys how to use it as a brush as well, but this is fine. All right, so I'm just going to create a base for it, and I think this one looks good here. So I'm just going to copy that, or maybe this one. I don't know. Maybe this one, the first piece. Okay, I'm just going to copy and paste it. This time I'm not going to do the thing where I am paste and unify and W. Okay. Yeah, so you don't have to, you don't have to bring them back in. And here I'm just going to Right, so here I'm just kind of building an antenna, and I think the better idea would have been to build the antenna. Actually, I'm going to do that. I'm just going to do that at the home. And just pick these two and build this whole thing, and then combine it and move it. It'll be a lot easier. Okay, so there's this piece, and then I'm just going to make that smaller, so that just basically creates more of a base for it. And I can just shrink it down to about there. There we go. That way it's not just kind of sticking out of the part that way. Usually there, this would be maybe like a rubber piece or some sort of kind of gasket or something that holds it together. All right, so now let's go ahead and get the antenna. I don't know if I have an antenna piece in here. I do have another kit bash that has long thin things, but I guess I could just make one here. So I'm just going to go ahead and load my primitives and append or insert a polymesh 3D, and into this polymesh 3D I'm going to change it to this. And by the way, this is exactly how the if I was using the brush version of what I have, well, that's how it would work as well. You would just kind of have all of the 135 cylindrical shapes over here on the side, and you can bring them in as needed. And turn perspective on. Okay, and then just kind of bring this up over here. Right, and then this is going to be long, long, like that. Let's just put this in the center and turn perspective off just to make sure I've got everything going right here. So it's going to be some sort of an antenna like this. Right, and then Q-mesh, single poly, Q-mesh, what's going on? Right, that's good. Maybe something like this. Right, let's use clip curve. I don't know why I'm using the mouse. Nope, that's why. Right, there's that. Turn on symmetry for this. There we go. Add edge loop over here. So different ways of adding edge loops. One way is, and again, something that is not used as much, is slice curve. I'm just going to do add an edge loop with slice curve, not go to ZModeler for that, and create kind of a area here where it's a junction. All right, let's see what that looks like in dynamic subdivision. Not too good this way, but if I Q-grid it, I think it'll come out pretty nice. Okay, that's good. Let's have no thickness. How about smooth? And let's look at the coverage here. Yeah, something like that is good. Okay, and I want to add another edge loop over here and grow this out. Grow this out as well. Right, and I want these to be cylindrical, so I'm just going to mask all this and expand this out all the way to here. And now to get these to kind of conform into that circle, I'm going to use the clip circle center, start from here, and say I just want everything to kind of condense into this hole like that. Right, that did it. Perfect. Okay. Still think it's too big on one side. Right, so I'm just going to make it adjust a tad thinner here. Symmetry should be on, so it should do it on both sides. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, I think that's fine. Now I want this to kind of be in two pieces so that this can turn. So I'm going to just slice this, slice curve this over here this way and this way. And I'm just kind of doing this blind. I should turn polyframe on. So you can see, yeah, that's actually not too bad. And I'm going to Q mesh this poly loop in. That. It's close to what I want, but still not 100% there. I think if I do this, it might be better, is it? Yeah. All right, so what I want here is I kind of want something that's serrated, so I'm just going to go in and insert multiple edge loops, maybe something like that, and do the same over here. Okay, what I want to do is I want to Q-mesh, polygroup all, and I want to Q-mesh these guys. And then why did it create a, let's see if I can, here, that's what I want. And I'm going to do this one more time, but All right, so now that that's done, I'm just going to combine these two together, or these three together. So just go here. Actually, before I do that, let's go ahead and apply all this to this piece. And just want to soften this part a little bit. So I'm just hitting it with the smooth brush. Am I even on that piece? I'm not. I am. Let's do this. All right, that's good. All right, so now the combining. Do a mirror and weld on this. Mirror and weld 2. Okay, there we go. All right. Now the other thing I want to do here is select this and give this just a slight let's blur that mask and rotate this a little bit this way. Okay. So make sure the mask is blurred. Masking, blur, 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 blur. Grow, grow mask, blur mask. Okay, there it is. Then just put this here. Just give it a little bit of a bend like that. Okay. Now, all of these have to get combined. So 1, 2, 3. Here we go. That. Merge down. Okay, and merge down. Okay, as well. All right, so all these are together. Let's fill them with a color. All right, and then what I want to do here is just go to view where I can see everything. And move this thing into place. See how that little kind of bottom cylinder just adds so much to it? So that's kind of the benefit of using these parts together. I think this could be a little bit smaller. Is using the cylinder parts together, you can get some really cool effects. Okay, so there it is. I'm going to mirror and weld this to the other side. Okay, and so there are the two antennas that this thing has. And I don't know if I want to have both of them be the same. I might add a different type of antenna there, but this is good right here. And I think I'm going to make it bigger. So this is kind of the bigger antenna. And then there'll be a smaller one next door, just to kind of add a little bit of asymmetry. All right. Now let's look at some hinges here. Where are we going to need some hinges? I'm probably going to need one over here. All right, so to make the hinge, I'm just going to go ahead and do that completely in another area. Let me choose a lighter color here, and let's go to the cylinder sets, and let's start picking the parts we need for it. So I think I'm going to use this part. Okay, so copy that and go back to here, paste, go back to here. Let's choose kind of like, where is it? There's a few here that I use all the time. And the one I'm looking for, I think has 6. One thing to note with these is they're organized in a way where, like, it starts out with rings. So this is 0 up until here. It's 1, right? So it's 1 notch or 1 kind of feature, right? It goes all the way to here. Then it starts with 2, then 3, right? And then 4, 5, and 6, and 7, you know, etc. So it goes up in number, and then these are more hexagonal, and there are these other tubey ones that are really useful too, and we'll use those at some point in this project as well. So I'm going to try and use as much of these in this project as possible, just because it's new, kind of in this form. I mean, I had these all in different pieces. Like, I had some of them in Maya from ages ago, and some of them were in different projects. So it was kind of good to, you know, consolidate them all into one place. All right, so let's see. I want to use this one. Maybe no. Where's the one I'm looking for? I think it's a 6, so it should be with the 6s. Here it is. Okay, solo it. Nope. Select it. Copy. Paste. All right, so now I've got 2 parts. So here's a situation where, I mean, it's just a couple of steps, but it's kind of a pain to do them. I want both of these to be in the same area, and you can already see, like, I'm creating an interesting shape just with these 2. But I'm going to use quite a few more of these. Cylindrical shapes that I have. Let's choose kind of one that has some side features, like maybe this one. Okay, and copy and paste that. It'd be nice if I could select a whole bunch of them and copy and paste them. I guess there's a way to do it, but I think I'm good for now. Go back here, paste. Okay, and then same story. Let's double this so we can see the inside of it. Right, and then let's go pick a couple more. You don't really need that many. You just need a few, but you can create some really good shapes just from a few of these. Let's see. I guess we could always keep adding later, but for now, I've got a hexagonal one. So let's see if I can find another thing that has 6 sides that could be interesting in that mix. So here's 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I go out from 6 to 8 pretty fast, so maybe not. But well, let's see what we can do with what we got. Let's just start simple here. So this one is pretty good as is. I'm going to leave it as is. I'm going to take this one, move it down here, make it just a little bit bigger. Okay, so again, very nice topology on these guys. I'm just going to solo this and then go here and do a extrude perpendicular angle. And what I want to do is just extrude this out on the mesh border. So I just basically am creating this lip, about this much, and then I'm going to go in as well. So I just basically created this lip around it. And again, I didn't include that because I wanted you guys to be able to do whatever you wanted to do with it. I mean, I just provided the basic shapes, and then you guys can take it from there. All right, so there's that. And now what I want to do here is I want to make this longer. Again, the topology is all symmetric. So here, if I'm go over here and choose extender, right, I know it is symmetric on both sides. I can just extend this out. So I basically have that shape, but I do have it deeper like that. And with this, I think I can do that, right? So here I'm just using just the extender feature to kind of do this to it. And I think there is a capability here to add more resolution. So I kind of wish it didn't crease it, but it's fine. Something like that. And the reason why I'm making these all squares is because I might want to sculpt on these or do other things. So there's that. Let's unsolo this. Okay, this is way too big now. And let's go back to Gizmo 3D, make this smaller. Right, I want this to be taller. So again, it's sound topology, so I can just modify this as I want. Again, this is all just really well thought out, just specifically for this reason. Add some subdivisions here. So now I've got that. And let's see what that looks like this. I don't know if I'm happy with what the extender did. So I'm going to do this again, but in a different way. Right, so I'm just going to solo this out again. Right, I do have that lip, good. And then I'm going to go back to extender here and just add some more geometry. I think it's this one. Here we go. I think there's a thing that turns creasing off. Why did I forget it? Yeah, here we go. I'm going to turn creasing off. There's that. Okay, so perfection. This is what I want. Good, good, good. So let's go ahead and turn this off. All right, there it is. And I'm going to go ahead and make these all the same color. So I'm just going to go ahead and pick, I don't know, let's just pick a nice beige color here. Fill object. You know, I'm going to have two different colors, so I'm going to go ahead and choose these two. All right, so you can see here that already it created an interesting shape, but this one, I want to use it in here. I think I picked the wrong piece. Yeah, I mean, this is good, but this is not what I wanted. But it looked good over here, so I'm just going to move back to where it was. I think it works okay there, maybe further down. And then this one, let's move it down to here. And I want this to be wider, so I'm going to go ahead and go back to the extender. See, I haven't accepted the extender yet, so I still have a ways to go with it. And since I haven't, excuse me. I can increase that resolution. So I have the square shapes, and then I'm okay with the extender at this point. I'm going to accept it. Move this over to here. All right, so now I'm good. And what direction are we building this in? Okay, and let's rotate everything around so we have it in X. Right. And what I want to do here is just mirror and weld these to the other side. So I basically have a full canister type shape. All right, so that's good. And now let's add a few more features here. Like I don't know if I'm happy with the edge of this. Okay. So that creates an area for me to add a label or something like that, but I want to add a little bit more visual interest. So let's go back to our pool of cylindrical objects and pick some other features that might look good on this one. I can add more interesting stuff on the side. So let's say I pick, this is what I was looking for before. So I'm just going to copy that one. Paste it. Time to bring all these to the home area. That's weird. Okay, come on. There. Okay. All right, so I've got the center part that I just added that I can kind of expand out. It's an interesting look for it. All right, I like that, but I want it to be longer. So again, since I have this pretty flexible, I can just do this. Again, the topology will handle it, and maybe see what it looks like if I do this to it. I mean, you create an interesting shape, but maybe that's not what would work here. Let's see what it would look like if I made this thinner. All right, that's good, and then maybe I think this is way too wide for this. Maybe it might not work for what I'm intending to do, but I'm going to try doing something else with it. See if it works. The thing is, you don't want to mix too many numbers of things. I've got a 3 and a 6, and I think this last one was an 8. So I think that's adding way too much to it. So actually, what if I don't have this one and have this instead? Okay, and then let's try and see if I can deform this in an interesting way. Bend dark won't work. Well, let's try it. No. What about this? It's kind of interesting. I mean, not specifically for this one, but I didn't even think about it using it this way. I'm going to delete this and let's bend curve bevel, crease, deformer. I mean, deformers are always fun. You can do some interesting stuff with them. You can even try projecting a primitive into it. Let's try that. All right, so let's make that primitive inside bigger. It's actually pretty interesting that I'm getting something really sound with it. All right, so I am actually going to keep this, but I'm going to put it over here. Like that. All right, that's good. Just a little bit wider. So you can see here, if you have good topology that's not too high res, you can do all sorts of interesting things. All right, and I'm just going to mirror weld this to the other side. So I have that. Okay, so now I've kind of created a vacuum in the middle area here, which is not something I intended on doing. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to select this. Oh, the wrong piece. Symmetry on. Now since there's no kind of topology over here, so this is going to be something I will be able to do. And my goal here is to make these parts more like that. Okay, so remember the shape I started with. Now I'm kind of molding that and changing it to something else. All right, that's good. I wonder what else I could do to make this work in an interesting way. I'm kind of thinking of this middle part, and I don't really have to do something very sophisticated. I mean, I could do something very simple, like just add a cylinder from my primitives kit. So here I'm just going to go to this one and change it just to a cylinder, just a simple cylinder, dynamic subdivide it, and let's center that in the world here. Transparency on. All right, just build this up. So again, you don't really need to, I mean, you can just use regular cylinders as well, but you can get something interesting like this, but I don't want this to be that thick, maybe a little bit thinner. Here we go. That's inside that part, but it's also its own thing. So I can assign a different material to this. All right, something is not symmetrical here, but let's see which ones of these. Are these symmetrical? Symmetry, make them symmetrical, make sure that this is in the center of the world. It is. And so I don't know why the cylinder is kind of offset. Maybe this one is not symmetrical, so mirror and weld. Yep, that was the problem. Okay, so there's this inside part, and then if I want to have like grooves on this, I'm just going to go ahead and solo that out. And what I'm going to do with this cylinder, I'm going to solo it out, and also, so I'm going to polygroup this thing. A polygroup polyloop, and I'm going to, where's the checker thing? Is it here? No. I guess I could do this as well. All right, let's let it autosave. If you guys have questions, you can ask. We got about maybe another 15-20 minutes left. And I'll probably be a little bit longer today. It's because I'm having a lot of fun playing around with this Kit Bash kit. All right, so Q1. So let's just add a few more edge loops here. And then what I want to do here is I want to polygroup. Yeah, here we go. And then checker and polyloop. All right, let's see if this works. Yep. Do a different one every time. That's weird. Because it's checker. That's why. All right, let's not do checker. Let's see if there's a different one that'll work. No. All right, not a problem. I'm going to mirror and weld this. Okay, so I got the same thing on both sides. And I want a Q-mesh polyloop. And polygroup all actually might work better. There we go. Excuse me. And I'm going to uncrease these. Actually, I think I can just remove all creasing. Uncrease all. So I get this type of thing going. All right, so now I've got these kind of, things on the inside, and let's color these this color. I'm actually going to do this, just polyloop, symmetry, and do these as well. All right, so I've got this cool little hingey thing here. That's going to be an elbow. So here I can just go ahead and combine all these. So merge visible, and that will create one for me here of the whole thing. And I'm going to press D to dynamically subdivide it and copy this. And go into my robot here. No, it's not the robot. This is the robot. Let's paste it. Let's unify it. Okay, and then I think one of the things that, I kind of tossed around the idea of doing is going ahead and making these kind of constructions too with the cylinders as a bonus to give with the set. But I haven't decided to do that yet. I mean, it's funny. It's really cool to be able to sit down and do a bunch of these all at once. All right, so this is going to be a hinge. That's going to be over here maybe, or let's do these on the knees. How about that? All right, now I'm kind of just placing it here. I will probably place it more accurately with the angle of the foot and everything once the foot happens. But right now, all I wanted to do is just make this thing. And again, this is good topology, so if I want it to be a little bit not as wide, I can just make it a little bit shorter and it will work. All right, and that's good. And I'll just mirror and weld this to the other side as well. Right, so that's that part over there. All right, let's see, what other parts can we work on? Let's see if I can work on this kind of front shield part. See what kind of topology we have. Just really very, very low poly, which is a good place to start. And I'm going to Q mesh this out. Poly loop, yep. Just create an outside mesh like this. I just don't want to go outside of the boundaries. And then I just want to Q mesh single poly down this way. There we go. Maybe not that long. And then I also want to do this and this. Let's see if I can do one of these two. Here we go. All right, cool shape. And let me see what else I need to do here to make this work out. I think we might want to do something similar to this, but maybe that's not a good idea. Just because I think it might work. Maybe segment it out. All right, so what I want to do here is I want to create some blocks. Here's one. I'm going to add an edge loop this way. Insert, single edge loop. Yep. Let's Q mesh these. And what I want to do with this is just Q mesh them out. Actually, I also want to do right, so this isn't going to work this way. If I insert an edge loop, it's going to kind of, try to conform to those edges. I guess I could hold shift down and it works now. So this is what I wanted here. And I'm going to right there. Okay, and I want to Q mesh these out. Right. And I wonder what this would look like with dynamic and Q grid on. Yeah, I don't think I like it. Just because I don't think this is straight, so I'm just going to go back to here. All right, what I want to do is I want to straighten this out so it's a straight line and not bent like that. So the way to do it is just mask. Edge loop complete. Okay. Care about the back. Don't care about the sides either. Turn symmetry off. Take that into the center. And what I want to do is I want this gizmo to be aligned with this. So I'm just going to move it off and click, drag. I think I did both of them. I should have just done one. Well, there's another way of doing this, which is clip curve, but I do have to mask the other one. All right. Okay. Here we go. And here I'm just using clip curve to kind of straighten these out. There we go. That's what I want right there. Did that mess up the flatness of this? No, it's good. All right. Qmesh polygroup all. Let's do that same thing here. I think I went back a couple of things too many, but not a problem. Okay, so now, poly, let's turn symmetry on. I just want to get a little bit of a bevel angle here. Let's see if we can do that. Okay, there's 1, 2. It's turning kind of into Gundam shield type thing. Let's see what that looks like. Not bad, but I think I need maybe more. Let's push these in. There we go. Let's do slice curve here. Now with slice curve, if you don't want to mess up your polygroups, you can just mask the thing and it won't mess them up. Go. Pop one there, pop another one here. Like that. And then I'm going to do the same thing down below. All right. Let's do that one, this one, and this one. All right, so that's kind of what I want to do. Kind of a mechanical six-pack there. All right, I mean, I'm not very happy with this, but I'm going to try and see if I can do a bend dark thing on it, if it would be any more interesting. A little bit. It's a little bit better. It's funny, it kind of looks like an insect in a way. I don't know if I'm happy with this. I'm going to take it all the way back to whence we came from. Right. I'm going to try a different strategy with this. But I'm not going to do it tonight because we're almost out of time. So tonight we kind of worked on this top part. We worked on this. Let's go ahead and select this guy, mirror and weld it. So we kind of have some sort of a robot going. And let's bring the floor up, do a quick render, and we'll call it a night. So this might be a good time to ask any questions you might have. Let's turn perspective on, and let's do a quick BPR render. Okay, that's good. And then let's go ahead and choose a different color. And again, this is definitely nothing that's finished, but it's just a kind of a placeholder for it. So we basically redid the shield here using some of these cylinders. We made this antenna. We created these hinge joints over here, and we also kind of added a texture, a pattern to this, and then we can embellish it further. All right, so hopefully you found this useful. I'm going to go ahead and do another render here. There we go. And if you guys have any questions, last questions, you can ask them now. If not, thank you for watching and being with me live during this. And hopefully I'll be on again in... I think I'm going to do another stream on my Twitch channel. So my Twitch channel is also Kermaco. I might do it tomorrow. I might do it on Sunday. But I might just do a Twitch session just, again, kind of what I did with this knee joint here, but maybe do more of them. And yeah, so you might want to try and see if you can find me on Twitch and subscribe so you'll know when I'm on. But of course, that I will record as well and put on my YouTube channel. I'm also going to come out with a tutorial on the cylindrical shapes. I didn't have really time to do it, but there will be a YouTube tutorial on it as well. All right. Thanks again for being on, and wherever you are, hope you're having a good day, night, or whatever time of day it is. Thank you, Kane HB, or not KVNE. I guess you're the same person. I don't know. Are you? Yeah, I think you are. Thank you for being on at 4 a.m. I appreciate it. And if there's nothing else, no questions, I bid you all goodbye and happy ZBrushing. See you in a couple of weeks on on ZBrush Live, and also I will see you on my Twitch channel, which is Kermaco. And stay tuned. Best thing to do is if you subscribe to me, or if you follow me on Instagram, I'll be posting where I'm going to be doing the Twitch session on there.